Hi there, my name's Chris Wharton, and welcome to Source Material. Eragon was one of the most formative books of my childhood. It propelled me into a world of magic and dragons and elves. So you can imagine my horror when I sat through the awful piece of cinema that is the Eragon movie. So let's talk about that. Eragon is the story of a young buck named, you guessed it, Eragon. Eragon lives with his uncle Garrow and his cousin Wharton. At one point, when he was traversing through the woods looking for something to hunt, he stumbled across a strange stone. So he decided to bring it home with him. Through various events, boom, dragon gets born, boom, Uncle Garrow gets murked, and bam-a-wham, Eragon goes off on an adventure with Brom, the grisly storyteller. Spoilers ahead, yo! The Eragon movie stars Ed Speleers as Eragon, Jeremy Irons as Brom, and Sienna Guillory as Arya, the elf who isn't an elf. More on that later. Oh, don't worry, I hear you. Chris, how can a movie with Jeremy Irons in it be bad? Well, despite his massive attempts, even Scar couldn't put this movie on his back and carry it. I mean, what are you gonna do with terrible dialogue like this?
Brisinga means fire, is fire. The thing is the word. Know the word, and you control the thing.
I mean, he's fantastic, but he's not a miracle worker. And don't even get me started on Ed Speleers, okay? I've seen better acting out of Hayden Christensen. Don't believe me? Well, let's take a look at this montage of the most wrenching displays of anti-thespianism that I've ever been forced to sit through in a film.
Nah, that's not so bad up here.
What a stain. An egg.
Did anybody follow you here?
How big will they grow? When do they breathe fire? And then Brom said, the time of the dragon riders will come again. Well, first, I think you need to fly. I should have been here to warn him. This is your fault!
But you would have met the same fate.
No! I could have saved him. To find Arya.
How do you know that name?
She's Durza's prisoner. I'm going to free her. I have skills. I can fight. My cousin, Wharton and I, we've trained. With swords.
Well then, perhaps I've underestimated you.
But what? He knows. You're not a bird.
Clearly she isn't a f***ing bird. How do you not know what a dragon looks like, you stupid? And it's not just Speleers. John Malkovich is in this movie. Hey, I love John Malkovich as much as the next guy, but he should not play a Dark Lord of immense power. I mean, he just looks goofy. Look at his ears.
To whom is not the issue?
Even freaking Robert Carlyle's in this, and I normally love him, and he's amazing in Once Upon a Time, but this movie is toxic and gives him dialogue like this.
I will find the boy and kill him before he becomes a man.
This movie is full of anti-conflicts. What does an anti-conflict, you ask? Well, let me tell you. Anti-conflict, noun. Defined as a filmmaking tool with the desired effect of creating tension, emotion, or even character development, but instead cheapens the film with its moronic and cliched storytelling. Thank you. For example, in the film, Carver Hall is overrun by soldiers. I have no time to get into why I hate this. It is mentioned that when boys become men, they are forced into military service.
Come with me!
2 more patriotic volunteers for the King's Army.
This leads Wharton to run off and say,
Before the soldiers come looking for me, I won't serve in the army.
in the books, Wharton leaves because he is offered a job at a mill up in Therinsford, which is right here. Now, he takes this job because he wants to make enough money so he can propose to the love of his life, Katrina, who, by the way, isn't in this film at all. But instead of taking 10 minutes to explain Wharton's situation, his love for Katrina, the hatred between their two families, and his desire to give her a good life, they decide to just have him go on the run for no reason at all. Wharton is only in the film for 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Seriously, I counted. And for a character who becomes a huge part in the story and a giant badass, this is a huge mistake. I mean, they call him Wharton Stronghammer because he kills things with a big hammer. We've had 5 minutes to get to know this character, and then he leaves, and we have this huge, sorrowful goodbye like we're supposed to give a shit.
Brother.
And work on that aim.
You may make a hunter yet.
Shut up! Shut up! That's stupid. Shut up! And every relationship is like that. The relationship between Brom and Eragon is so underdeveloped that we don't even care when he dies. And this is coming from a guy who cried for 10 minutes when he died in the books. They expected this stupid, repeated line.
1 part brave, 3 parts fool.
That we can be forced to see the bond between these two characters.
1 part brave, 3 parts fool.
You screenwriters. So it's stated in the books that dragons take quite a few months to mature and grow to full size. With that in mind, watch this next clip. At first viewing, I thought this was some kind of a fantasy montage. But then I realized that Eragon was standing in the same f***ing field. You're telling me that she grew to full size in 10 seconds? This is the laziest filmmaking I've ever seen in my entire life. You've robbed us of this entire span of where Eragon is taking care of Saphira, and then suddenly it becomes to switch around the other way, where she starts taking care of him, and there's this bond, because we don't get to see the bond, because we don't show them grow. Another issue in this god-awful film is the races. You know, elves, dwarves, Urgles. They don't look like other races. Remember the thing I said about Arya, the elf who isn't an elf? Well, I guess when they had their production meeting to discuss what they wanted to do with this film, they decided that the elvish character didn't need to have elf ears. Seriously. She's an elf. They have pointy ears. I read reviews online from people who have never read the books and who didn't realize at all that she's an elf. And not to mention her character is completely portrayed wrong. She seems like some kind of like teenage girl, not some like old wise elf. I gotta take a breather. I'm literally about to OD on nerd rage. Take a look at these dwarves. Don't they look like just bearded men? And the Urgles. They just look like giant country yokels. Urgles have horns and are like 7 to 9 feet tall. Murtag's in this film for about 5 seconds, so he's basically an afterthought. A character whose importance is rivaled only by Eragon's. I mean, he becomes Eragon's like main nemesis in the next book, and you know, you don't even show their struggles or like them trying to understand each other or their journey together when they were still friends. So it means nothing to us. He means literally nothing to us. Farthen Door looks like a shithole, even though it's supposed to be like the pinnacle of dwarvish craftsmanship. The battle is completely confusing and erratic, and I'm tired. I need a nap. There is so much more that I wasn't able to fit in this video. So if enough people like it, maybe I'll do a part 2. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Chris Wharton, and please just read the books.